Hello everyone! Today I'm going to talk about how to learn English completely for free. You might think it's impossible to become completely fluent without spending money, but that's not true. I know it's hard to believe because if you go online and type in Learn English, you'll see a lot of different ways to learn English that cost money, either through schools, books, private tutors, online products. But just because other people pay a lot of money to do something doesn't mean you have to do the same. Think of it like fitness. A lot of people pay thousands of dollars for expensive gyms, personal trainers, nutritionalists, but there are also people who are in amazing shape and they just train at home. The same thing can be done with English. Speaking English is a skill, and just like any skill, if you take the right approach, you can do it completely on your own. So you might be thinking, if that's the case, why do people pay for English classes? Well, when you go to a school or hire a teacher, the teacher has a plan for you. The teacher guides you to fluency by targeting specific skills and making sure that you're sticking to the plan. Again, it's just like fitness. No one has ever gotten really fit just by going to the gym and doing random things. So if you really want to be fluent in English, without spending money, you need to create a study plan. Creating a study plan is actually a lot easier than you think. I've created a template which you can download in my description box below. And we'll actually go through making a study plan together. So let's take a look at our study plan. So here's the template for our study plan. If you want, you can print it out and fill it in by hand, or you can do it on the computer like I am. Our goal for the first month is just going to be choosing our activities and sticking to them. Because if we can't even accomplish this simple goal, then there's no point talking about more complex goals or study methods. You might think this is too easy or too simple, but trust me, the students I had in the past who would skip this step had a much harder time learning English. But all of my students who took the time to do this step really succeeded in accomplishing their English goals. So if we look here, there are 4 different boxes with 4 different skills. So the first thing we're going to do is choose an activity in English that will help us practice the skill specifically. It's very important that we practice all 4 skills. Now, if you're not sure what kind of activities you should do or where you can find some activities, I've included a list of free activities in my description box below. So let's practice filling out this plan together, and I'm going to imagine that I'm an English student. So for reading, I'm going to practice my English reading by reading articles on the website News and Levels. If you don't know what that website is, you can check out my list in the description box. Next, for speaking, I'm going to find a language exchange partner on the app HelloTalk, which is a free app that connects different language learners to native speakers. This app is also in my list of resources. For writing, I'm going to write in my English journal. I'll write about the things I did in a day, and if I have time, I'll share it with my language partner on HelloTalk. And lastly, for listening, I'm going to watch different shows in English on Netflix and YouTube. If we go down, we see that there are some extra skills we want to practice. Now, when we think of grammar, vocabulary, or pronunciation, we usually think of boring old books or boring teachers making us repeat the same old sentences again and again. But in this day and age, we don't have to study like that. Thankfully, there are a lot of useful apps that allow us to study in a fun way. A perfect example is an app like Duolingo or Memrise. These apps help us practice our English every day without making it feel like a chore. So for these 3 skills, I'm just going to put Duolingo and Memrise. Only Duolingo has a pronunciation practice feature, so I'll use Duolingo for that. Now, once we have our activities, that's only half the plan, so don't stop here, otherwise you'll only have a 50% chance of succeeding. The next thing we need to do is put it on a schedule. If you were to pay for English classes, they would make you come to class at a certain time. There's a reason why schools don't just say, oh, come to class whenever you want. We need to have a schedule. So the trick here is to make sure you're practicing each skill at least once a week. And if this is your first time making a study plan, I want you to aim for just once a week. The trick here, when you're making your schedule, is to aim for the bare minimum. Think about what's the minimum amount of time you can put on your schedule. Now, this might sound funny because usually schools and teachers tell you to study as much as possible. But with this study plan, we want to create a habit. It's much better to study for 10 minutes every day than it is to study for 4 hours on one day and then forget about it. So think about your regular schedule, your school or work, your social life, and ask yourself, where can I squeeze in the minimum amount of time to study English? So my study plan might look something like this. I switch between Duolingo and Memrise every day, and I only practice for 10 minutes. I like to switch between two apps because it keeps me from getting bored, but you don't have to do this. On Tuesday, I have a little bit of time in the evening, so I read for 30 minutes. And that gives me enough time to read slowly and reread the article if I need to. And maybe look up some words and write them down if I don't understand them. On Thursday in the evening, I have a little bit of time to write in my journal, so I do that for 30 minutes. I just write about different things that happened during that day or that week, if anything interesting happened, and I try to describe it with as much detail as possible. And then lastly, on Saturday, I have a lot of free time, so I have enough time to watch at least 30 minutes of English shows and speak to my language partner for 30 minutes. On Sunday, I relax and I don't plan to do any language learning or studying. I just want to give my mind a break. So now every day that I stick to my schedule, I give myself a check. And if for some reason I miss the day, I give myself an X, so I can keep track of the progress I'm making. At the bottom here, we have the check-in to see, did I actually complete my goals for this month? If yes, you can focus on what really worked and maybe something that you would change when you move on to the next month. If no, you have to really be honest with yourself and ask yourself, why didn't you succeed? Sometimes life happens and you're really busy, but sometimes we're also a little lazy. If you're aiming for the minimum, there's no reason why you can't accomplish your goals. So maybe you need to try a different schedule, different activities, find a new language partner, or maybe you need to reach out to teachers like me or other language learners online to help find out what really went wrong. Now, I really emphasized writing down the bare minimum because this makes your study plan fail-proof. Even if you're tired or busy, you can always squeeze in just 10 minutes to work on an app, or even just 30 minutes to write in your journal once a week. What happens a lot is students get really excited and they write down way too many things, and then they get overwhelmed and forget about the study plan. We don't want that. We're just aiming for the bare minimum. But that doesn't mean you have to do the bare minimum. On a certain day, if you have a lot of energy and you feel like studying more, you can keep studying, and then that becomes a bonus. Something extra, which is nice. Maybe in your study plan, you wrote watch English movies for your listening activity, but then on the bus, you start listening to English music. Just consider that English music a bonus, something extra, and just continue to stick to your study plan. So that's the secret to how you can become fluent in English for free. Without a study plan, you're going to have a really hard time becoming fluent in English. And even if you pay for classes or private teachers, they're just going to make you follow a study plan anyways. In the next video, I'll show you more tips on how to improve your English. But just remember, the secret is in the study plan. So if you're not following a study plan now, when you finish this video, I want you to go and make a study plan right away. Like I said, in the description section, there's a link for you to download a template for your study plan. And there's also a link with a list of free activities. So guys, language is all about communication, so you can start communicating by leaving me a comment down below. If you have any questions about this video or how to start a study plan, you can leave me a comment or send me a message. Even if you'd like me to take a look at your study plan, I can let you know if you're on the right track. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss my next video. Take care guys, see you in the next video.